for me, the Twitter interface is perfect
Yeah.
because I can respond quickly, and if I don't respond, nobody's freaking out, you know. Um, and it's not like I have to write a huge blog,
Right.
which I love the idea of, but it's like a double-edged sword. The fact that I have aspirations to be a writer, because it makes me feel like if I'm gonna write something, I want it to be good. I don't want to just be like, write the the text talk where you see you, are you, with all the
Mm.
misspellings and everything like that. That sort of drives me crazy. So the idea of sitting down and committing something like a big blog, to not paper, but whatever, to posterity, it's always there, and I have to live and die by it. And it's an example of my writing, and so then I really want to do justice to it. But I'm also doing a lot of just promotion, and then forget about the 3 to 4 hours a day I'm actually singing.
Right.
Between the in stores and the radio visits and the gigs. So to me, Twitter's perfect. Facebook is a little freaky just because of just that's too much. Like then I've got every single person I ever knew in my whole life. Which there most of them are really nice, but I can't respond. And there's something about Facebook that really feels like I feel guilty if I don't accept a friend request or write
Yeah.
reply to somebody's post.
And then the whole MySpace thing is like for musicians it's still relevant, but for most
Yeah.
people it's sort of
I
dying.
felt bad. I went on a syndicated Fox thing where I was going to be on a bunch of Fox different TV morning shows or something, and the woman was so sweet, and she kept saying, so you Twitter, do you also have a MySpace page? And I was saying, I do, and I used to check the messages all the time, and I still check them sometimes, but I just feel like nobody uses MySpace anymore. And she's going, oh, I use MySpace. It's really a fantastic thing. And I kept saying, well, yeah, nobody I know uses it. And I'm like, no, I'm forgetting the whole time that her
News corps.
boss owns it. And I'm like, she's just wanting me to say one nice thing about it so she can. And I'm
They
like,
need to know that their product is in trouble,
I
so they
know.
need to know these things. Well, so I know that you live in upstate New York, right? Or somewhere in New York
It's not.
State.
Yeah, it's not technically upstate. People in Syracuse get upset when you say it's upstate. It's the Hudson Valley. It's
Okay.
an hour and a half north of here in the Hudson Valley region.
And you used to live in Manhattan.
Yeah, I did.
Is
I
that
lived
true?
just down by the World Trade Center right before it fell.
Okay.
Until the day, the morning that it fell was the last morning I ever woke up there. We fled
Wow.
and then moved to L.A.
And never came back to live in
Well,
the
we weren't
city after
allowed
that.
back in we were in the zone.
Wow.
Because we were a block away, and when we ran, the second tower was falling as we ran, so it hit us in the back, with the rubble and the burning pieces of metal.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that you lived here during that time. I had no idea that you were that directly involved in it.
Yeah.
That must have been terrifying.
It
Just as an understatement. I mean,
but it was that weird thing where, the being in the middle of it, you shut down in a way just so you don't experience it as a terrifying thing while it's happening. You just like I just went into like survival mode, and I have to get my Erica, my wife, was having a tough time. She was freaking out. So I had to like get her to safety, and then I had to figure out what we were going to do because we were in our pajamas basically and no cell phones, and I had my wallet. Thank God I had my wallet. But then it was all logistics. One thing I'm really
right, because you
glad.
could never go back. I mean, you could not go back to your house, so you just had to like find a place to stay, get out of the city.
Yeah, we walked a couple of miles up and stayed actually about 1 block away from where this hotel is, with our friends Caroline and Timmy, and the next day caught the one train that ran out that day up to where we live now, actually, to my brother-in-law's house in the Hudson Valley, and spent a few days there of really beautiful, idyllic, kind of the opposite of what had happened, and wound up moving to LA for a couple of years, but then moving back to the Hudson Valley because it was so beautiful. It's horse country and it's so peaceful, and we can come here and be in the city in an hour and a half, but where we're raising our kids is so lovely. It's really just such a beautiful, peaceful. It's not untouched by the modern world, but the worst you get is the New York equivalent of rednecks, whatever that is.
Right. Well, this is my first time back to New York since 9/11. I just
Oh,
did
yeah.
not. I came in early 2001 and
Mhm.
then had not been back to the city. And I'm glad I have come back because it really sort of renewed my love for this city.
Yeah.
It is the coolest city in the world.
But as a kid, I always dreamt that I would live in New York City, and so now when I'm here, even though I don't live in the city proper. It's so inspiring to me. And I drive
Mm-hmm.
around and I think, I'm here, if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. So, what are some of your favorite things to do in New York City?
Gosh, when I'm in New York, you know what my favorite thing to do is? And this is so bad, but it really dates back to when I was in college in Sarah Lawrence, and I'd come in and play at CBGB's, because I used to come play solo acoustic, mostly at the canteen. What do they call it? The cantina, or the cantina? CBGB's cantina, which is on the side. But I would drive home after those gigs back up to Sarah Lawrence, which is in Yonkers, just
Mm-hmm.
north of here, and driving in Manhattan at night. I love that. I love it. There's something about it. Just there's a reckless, careless, crazy thing, and the lights are all the buildings, and it's the cars, and it's a really beautiful, exciting kind of thing. I mean, you have to be in the right frame of mind. There's a lot of days when I'm trying to get into the Holland Tunnel to get out of town when I curse driving in New York. But something about driving at night in the city is very sweet. And during the day, I love to walk around.
Yeah.
Just walking in New York. No wonder everybody here's so skinny. Oh my God, they're like walking. They're carrying their kid up their 4th-floor walk up, and I mean, oh my God. So I love it. I mean, and there's something also about like looking out on the skyline of New York that's so inspiring. The verticality of the city, where if everybody in all the buildings came down on the street at once, there wouldn't be room to breathe. There's that
Right.
feeling of this island can barely accommodate the mass of humanity that's resting on it, or
Mm-hmm.
or not even resting, that's living on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that feeling. It's bristling, but at the same time, it's nice to leave and go somewhere peaceful.
Right, yeah. That's the main thing that I have done since I've been here, is just walk around. I just think it's so wonderful to see all the iconic things, the architecture, and actually the people have been very nice this trip I have found, so it's been really kind of a special time. So what can we do to get you to move back to Texas?
The global warming is not helping.
No, it's like 103 there today.
I know, and I would be willing to go back because I miss my family a lot, and I'd be willing to go back, and I think about it a lot, but the summers are a beat down. The summers are a deal breaker for my wife. So the winters
Stay inside.
freak me out up here because it's 3 months of snow. It's April and there's 4 feet of snow on the ground. That freaks me out. But we'll figure it out. I'll always come back to visit.
And hopefully bring the evening with the old 97s to Texas.
We have not booked a date there yet, but we will. We're hell bent on making that happen.
Okay. Well, I would love to hear you play something. So would you play a song for us?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.